This leads us to the next point, which is review and social proof phase. This is super duper important, which leads us to Google reviews, social mentions, tags, testimonial requests, and all sorts. So in one of the videos, so before I get into like deeper in that, so one of the videos I recently made on school, as I was saying, I thought, you know what will ChatGPT say? What are the best studios in Derby, where I'm from? So I go on ChatGPT and I was like, can you give me 3 studios? What are the best in Derby? And then GPT says there's this one studio, then it was us, then it was another studio. And one, I was fuming that we were not first because we literally have the highest number of Google reviews in the whole city. So I thought, okay, cool, like sound. But then the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th didn't exist. Like literally, as we just spoke, we had deliveries. All the goodies just came, box, folded, goodies, all the good stuff. Nice, we got more stuff to destroy. Which leads back to my story. So I'm asking GPT why aren't we the first? Why he never called us the first? GPT says that it's a good question, as he always does. And then basically I was asking like, where you made decisions from? What was the leading indication? What made you pick the first, the second, the last us? And GPT said that heavily goes in Google reviews. Like that's like the first thing what it does. Goes to Google reviews, it runs through the Google reviews and then says, okay, cool, this is nice. Reads everybody's comments, so it gets like a good understanding of the place, how the people are. And what also it does is it looks how long the business been open for. So one is the Google review amounts is a big deal. But then how long you've been in the business is a big deal. And therefore the other studio that was longer in the business, they managed to get the #1 spot because they're being in the business longer. Which means you need to get on Google reviews as fast as possible. So which means if you own a studio or if you are a business owner, get on Google reviews as fast as possible. If you are not a business owner and then if you are just a person who's studying, find a way that you can be there. So for example, if you work in a studio, make sure every time somebody leaves you a Google review, mentions your name all the time. Yeah, just you. If your name is Carl, just Carl, somebody else, Carl, and then you become the #1 person, the main person, the big boss. Even if you just started working in that studio, just blast your name in every single Google review, because when the public scrolls through, they don't know who's been there for how long, right? They don't know anyone's life stories. People will see a name, what they have done, name, what they have done, name, what they have done. No one knows how many kids the person has, or the life expectancy for that person. Like no one knows anything about that person. All they know is he did this, she did this, that person did this. So you want to be the person about who is being told the most. So me as a person, like my job is to not be really a tattoo artist anymore. My job is to run the business, which means I managed to get a system which allows us to get the most Google reviews in short time, in which we did. We outperform everybody. Now we have the highest rating studio in the whole place. Done. Cool. Next. Lucy, she arrived. She's with us maybe 9 months now, maybe-ish. But she has a shitload of Google reviews where everybody else have less. So she outperforms, so she dominates the Google reviews instead of the people who've been there for 2.5 years, just because she just asks more. She's more friendly, more nicer, little girl, and people just can't say no. So she dominates the Google reviews. And because of that, she gets more bookings of the Google reviews, which then she gets more Google reviews of the Google reviews, and then it just snowballs. And then that way, again, we as a business, we get a high number of Google reviews just because she gets loads. Makes sense? So it's a win-win situation. Which means in the future, people will ask ChatGPT and people will ask Google. And people are not going to go into Google to search the answer. They will be given the answer on the top row, which means you want to be in the top row. You want to be on, it was called SEO, search engine optimizing. But then, I don't know, well, what that has probably a different name now because it's AI doing the job, not you really searching. AI searching to just set the answer to you. So I don't know what term that is, but that's what the feature is. Then you're also going to be mentioned in social tags all the time. So you want people to tag you. If that's on Facebook, you make sure you people mention you. If that's on Instagram, again, you want the people to mention you and tag you. And then if you can get testimonials, which is another social review, because somebody gave a testimonial, even a healed photo is actually a review of your work. So this is not like a review of the feelings I had or my experience. This is legit. What I received from that person is a reviewing the outcome. So that's also a review, is getting healed photo, asking about the healing. And you want to get those testimonials as much as possible. So whenever like somebody messages, you can grab a screenshot, you can copy paste, you can ask them, can you write me a written, and you can just copy paste it and reproduce that. So the problem starts where people are weird about people feeling good about them. I know it sounds weird, but what I mean is, if I could get 20 people send good photos to you and 20 posts good to you, you would feel overwhelmed. That you feel like, no, that can't be sure. Like, people can't feel good about my to-dos. That's weird. But you would have to tell the world, like, look at these 20 people said I'm good. You would feel guilty about feeling good. I know it sounds weird. And you would feel guilty about showing the world that it's good as well. Again, that would be weird. But that's your job. Our job is to gather the information that is fucking cool, is dope, and then we pass the information to the next people. That it's good. Yeah. So, which gets to the next one. So actions, what can we actually do? So this is like a backstory, but now there's the actions. What can we do? So I have made a studio feedback collection SLP, which is standard procedure operation, which then basically is the way we collect information, how we do that, how we compose that, what do we do with that. That's in SLP, it's going to be on school, not on YouTube. Then you can ask Google review after the session. So for example, we finished, you can mention like, oh, by the way, yeah, we actually have like the highest rating Google reviews. And you're like, do you reckon you can leave me one? Just why not? Like maybe just write down like, Ziggy, you fucking hurt me. Make it sound like a funny joke, but then it makes them actually do it. Then that's one way. Second is you can say, how did you find us? And then the person will say, oh, I went on Google and I read reviews. I'm like, you know what that means? I want you to leave one as well, because that made cool, like people come and find me. So if you found one, you need to leave one. I make that as a joke as well, but they know it's not a joke, but it's a joke. And then they mostly also make me a Google review, which is pretty cool. Then when you ask for follow-up email, so in the previous video when we spoke about following up, when you do a tattoo for a person and then you wait at least like a month, so it's like a heal and settle, and then you ask the person how was it, and then they say, yeah, it's healed nice today. And you're like, have you done any Google reviews? Could I ask you, please? Can I, you know what I mean? And then mostly they're fine. If you just ask nice and polite, they'll be fine. They'll make you. And then encourage them to tag the studio or post healed results. So a lot of times I ask people, I'm like, can I get like a healed photo on that? And then once they do take a healed photo, mostly they also post themselves on somewhere on socials. And you just say, can you tag us in if you do? Or just say, you can feel free to tag us in. I'll be fine. I'll love it, and I'll give you some good comments on that. And then, yeah, it works. And then ideally, you save your testimonials and video feedbacks. So, for example, what I do with school is when people do some good work, I take a screenshot, I post on school stories, and I put that in highlights. So highlights is a place where I save reviews. Sometimes I attach them to the post of review. So don't lose them, basically. Have them somewhere. And then the psychology behind all this is a public validation builds a massive trust for the future clients and it reinforces pride for the current ones. The more Google reviews, the more clients. We are social creatures. We really care what the people say, because that's how we have survived for thousands of years. If the whole tribe, literally the whole tribe did certain things certain way, you did them as well. When you are a kid, so this is like a parenting thing, yeah? So imagine you have a kid. The kid goes and touches this and he's looking at you. Parents would say, what cheeky person does what he's not supposed to do and he's watching what you're going to say about it. And parents think that the kids are taking a piss on them. That kids are like purposely making that. But what actually happens, this is from psychology. When kid touches an item that you touched previously, which was also social proof, if mom and dad did that, therefore I can do that as well, and I feel safe to do so because they touched and they survived, so therefore I can touch and I'll survive. But I don't really know if I'm allowed or not. So like if I would be a baby, and that's what baby does, yeah. Babies and kids touch and they look at you and they watch what your face will say. If you go like this, they're like, oh shit. If the mother says this, kids are, oh, that's cool. But if the parents go like, looking mad, they're like, okay, cool. But they don't really understand your language. They understand your tonation. They can understand your face. But the words sound like, the kids have no clue what you just said. You might have this big meaning, big story behind it. All the kids say is, no. But they want to see your face. They want a social proof. This is like a Google review. Is this place good? And then your face says, you're like, okay, cool, let's not go there. And that's it. That's how humans survive. We survive by absorbing the others. So you want to have the most other opinions as you can make it. If you can make people make Facebook videos about you, that will be good. If you can make people make social posts about you, that's cool. If you can make people make TikToks about you, that's cool. If you can make Google reviews, like a TikTok video is of like a video of a Google review. It's just spoken in a video in the words. This one's just written. It's the same thing. That's why books and on all the items have reviews, because we as a social creatures, we want to know the feedback of what's good and what's bad. And you want to get as much as possible good about your place, like as much as possible. And then people start to come from different cities as well, because your place sounds way better than the local studios they have. So they might have like 5 studios right next to them, which have 50, maybe 60 Google reviews. We have 500 5-stars, which then puts us in a position that we outperform all of them massively, like 10 times, legit 10 times. And then people are okay to drive 20 more minutes. Like they're cool. They're like, yeah, 20 minutes, it's not that big of a deal. Like they come to us from more distance because we are better, we are higher, we are more, we are different, we increase in value, and that is the power of social proof. If you have no social proof, if you have 2 Google reviews, 20, who fucking cares? Like, no one's gonna come to a place with 20 Google reviews. Maybe the people who know you, maybe family members, but would you go to like a restaurant that has 4 Google reviews? You probably wouldn't. And if there is another 5-star, 500 Google reviews 20 minutes away, you will drive. Like, you will just drive that. Why not? You're gonna say, let's go for a trip. It's a family trip, a family vacation, 20-minute drive to go to places. And I've done that myself. We go to different places, different areas, because the local ones, I can see they're pretty shit. And they have no Google reviews, they have shitty photos, they have horrible explanation or like online presence. Why the fuck would anyone go there? But like, if somebody goes there, to me, that seems like a proper loser. People who don't really value their own life, their own time, their own food, and then you might end up paying for something that you regret eating. But at the same time, I might be wrong altogether. There might be the best people, might be the best food, might be the best drinks, might be the best service, but no one knows. And no one has a clue that even exists there. It's not being advertised, it's not being testimonialized, there is no evidence, there's no social proof. No one knows, and nobody will know if they don't fix that. But fixing that is the issue. Yeah. So that is the importance of reviews. Yeah, it's a social belief. If I can get everybody in the whole city give me shitloads of Google reviews, everybody would just come here more, because they come more, you get more, and we become more. It's just a numbers game. So I can't even wait what's going to happen once we have let's say 1,000 5-stars. Imagine, we will get all the fucking traffic, all the people in Dublin will be here. And that shouldn't happen in the far future. So, psychology, public validation builds a massive trust. So, get as much time as possible.